Hollywood panics as workers warn new people stay out of the business. Hollywood production has pretty much collapsed. It's down around 40%. But that's not the only story. A lot of the production has moved out of California. It's in Atlanta. It's in New York. It's in foreign countries. A lot of it's in the UK, Romania, all over the place, except in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is freaking out about this because they're losing a lot of tax revenue. They're losing a lot of work as well for people that live there, people that this is like their whole life and it's always been there. So when there are numbers like 40% less production of new TV shows and films, and that doesn't even account for the fact that people are doing production, including that number, outside of where they normally might do it, it's devastating. So new people who are looking to get in the business and who are looking for mentors and who are trying to get into classes, to get internships, to get educated, to be in Hollywood, are being told by people who are veterans, people who are struggling to find work for themselves, just stay out of the business. It's not a good time. From the Los Angeles Times, Hollywood veterans get brutally honest about mentoring next generation amid industry turmoil. And from IndieWire, Art Directors Guild suspends training program. Quote, "We cannot in good conscience encourage you to pursue our profession." That has never happened before, but it's happening now. With the entertainment industry currently struggling amid a contraction, job opportunities remain scarce. Some Hollywood training programs and mentorship groups have been reevaluating their approach as production levels remain low. Despite all the industry turmoil, longtime performers and craftspeople say they're committed as ever to helping the next generation succeed. But here's a little bit of a secret. When you're struggling and you're looking for work, and there are always new people coming up, they're actually competition for you. I mean, the people who have good connections and they're networked, and they know people, so that's how they typically get work, and they have a reputation, that's good, but at the same time, new people coming in are going to be willing to work absolutely dirt cheap. So it's now just another source of competition for them that they're supposed to train, that they're supposed to be mentors to and welcome them into the industry when they can't even pay their bills? Not very likely. There's one story in this article about this one woman who had to sell her record collection just to stay afloat. That's where she's at right now. And of course, she's credentialed. She's got credits. She's done work in the industry. But that's not worth very much right now. This spring, applicants vying for a spot at the Art Directors Guild Production Design Initiative, a program that offers mentorship and on-the-job training to future production designers and art directors, received a troubling email. The message from the initiative's leadership team said that, quote, "Due to historic and unprecedented circumstances within the entertainment industry, the program will be suspended until 2025. Quote, "Because of these circumstances, there is even less of an opportunity for employment within the entertainment industry at this time," read an excerpt of the email first obtained by IndieWire. "Given this situation, we cannot in good conscience encourage you to pursue our profession while so many of our members remain unemployed." They need work for their members. They're not going to help you get a job when the people that are part of their community already can't get enough food to eat and to stay indoors. And there are evictions going on. There are people leaving Los Angeles left and right. There are people leaving the industry left and right. It's no secret that the entertainment industry is struggling. Contrary to workers' hopes, film and TV production hasn't roared back in the wake of last year's writers and actor strikes. Job opportunities remain scarce as studios attempt to recoup their losses from the streaming wars by slashing staff and production. As a result of the challenges in the workforce, some prominent industry training programs have pulled back. Since Hollywood's inception, the tricks of the entertainment trades have been passed down largely through hands-on instruction and word of mouth. Many aspiring performers, creatives, and craftspeople have broken into the business with the help of mentors enthusiastic about sharing their industry connections and institutional knowledge. And that's what tends to happen when you have some experience. You get into your 40s, you get into your 50s, you start thinking about legacy. You want the industry to do well, and the only way it's going to continue to do well is if new people come into whatever industry you're in and they want to take it up as well. It's a very natural human thing to do. But not when something's in total collapse. Then all bets are off. But the current employment crisis has forced Hollywood veterans, many of whom haven't seen steady work in several months, to get brutally honest about encouraging newcomers to pursue their dreams. Quote, I tell new people that the industry is not the industry it was when I joined over 12 years ago, said Ariel Kaplan, a 35-year-old production designer based in Silver Lake, California. Quote, trying to make it so that they're not blindsided is much more important to me than trying to protect their feelings. Deandra Kenzel-Luzon, a film and TV editor who's driven for Uber and recently sold her record collection to stay afloat, found the ADG's decision to suspend its training program both alarming and validating. Quote, okay, so it's not just me, said Luzon, who lives in Inglewood, California, with her 2-year-old son. These things are happening to everybody, and it's worse than I thought. She should be listening to my videos. I do a lot of videos talking about this subject because it's really historic. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event to see Hollywood collapse this way. And it's not really coming back. They're not going to do a lot more production. Even when they do substantially increase their production, it's very unlikely they're going to do it in California. They're just not. There are too many other options in different places they can do the work. And in addition to that, there's artificial intelligence. The reason you're willing to do work if you're a Hollywood studio outside of California instead of in California is it's not just like local taxes or something. There are giant tax incentives, giant tax like cash rebates you get that California has never really offered equal on par with what they offer in so many other jurisdictions. Additionally, it's all really below the line in California, meaning it's production related stuff, but it's not above the line people like the big dollars that you pay. When a star gets a $12 million salary or a $20 million salary, those are not deducted in California, but the 20% or 25% credits can get cash back to the studio for those massive fees outside of California, in addition to other benefits. It's not coming back to California. And when production changes in a big way, it's also going to be artificial intelligence time. Artificial intelligence is being tested now for video, for writing, for every level of production. ADJ National Executive Director Chuck Parker and President Nelson Coates said in a joint email to The Times that the email was sent in error, had not been edited, and did not accurately convey the labor organization's stance. The Guild's position is that the program was postponed to focus on contract negotiations that took place this year between the larger crew members union and the studios. Quote, this labor movement alongside our peers and colleagues only strengthens our excitement for the future of the industry, the Guild said. The Art Directors Guild isn't the only organization that has made changes in recent months. Women in Film, a nonprofit organization that provides mentorship and networking opportunities for women, non-binary, and trans people, launched the latest version of its fellowship program right before writers went on strike for 148 days. During the work stoppage, certain professionals participating in the program, such as writers and entertainment executives, weren't allowed to talk business with each other, disrupting a key valve in the organization's pipeline. Financing companies declined to meet with producing fellows seeking funding for their films while the industry remained on hold. But we still made it work, said Mikiko James, Senior Director of Programs at Women in Film. But what we saw clearly through last year was that there wasn't going to be as much happening in terms of active work and hiring. The organization admitted fewer fellows this year, 60 instead of 87, in part because there's no work for anyone. Next year's fellowship class will also be capped at around 60 to avoid spreading the Women in Film network too thin. Nonetheless, she still encourages people to apply. So why only 60? What are they talking about spreading the network too thin? Well, the people that get into the program will have access to contacts and access to opportunities and access to work. There may not be a lot of work, but whatever work there is left, the members will have access to it. Well, they're not going to let you in if you're number 61 on their list of 60 spots available, where they normally could have 87 or more people join, because they don't want to share the work because it's just not enough work for them to all survive. Studios are also feeling the crunch. Warner Brothers Discovery typically reopens the applications portal for its Access to Action program, which gives industry newcomers a pathway to entry-level below-the-line jobs once a year. But the studio opted to keep it closed this summer because of the production slowdown, reasoning that, quote, it wouldn't have been fair to bring in a whole new candidate pool when we hadn't really had an opportunity to provide those jobs for the previous cohort, meaning they didn't have enough jobs for the last people that they brought in, according to Avid Golson-Cruz, Senior Manager of Corporate Social Responsibility at Warner Brothers Discovery. Not all up-and-coming entertainment professionals enroll in training programs. Many tips, skills, and job opportunities are simply exchanged from person to person through a sort of informal apprenticeship model. When 54-year-old grip Paul Giacalone launched his career in the 1990s, his brother showed him the ropes and taught him how to be respectful and gain respect through that process. Giacalone recalled working alongside old-timers who would tell him, quote, "Kid, get out, because the grip life was not what it used to be." Quote, "But it provided a great life for my family and myself," said Giacalone. "And I still get excited to see the younger people that are starting, when the light turns on in their head and they see something that they didn't previously see." See, people do love to mentor. It's an exciting thing to show other people the way. It's absolutely human nature. But Hollywood is a very troubled industry. Following in his brother's footsteps, Giacalone said he's always been compelled to give back and tutor incoming craftspeople. Above all, he hopes to impart good safety habits. Quote, "That is probably the predominant reason for wanting to mentor people, is to help them understand the way to do things properly," he said. Jessica Lee, a model and actor known for her work on Deal or No Deal, benefited from a mentor who helped her navigate difficult situations, such as being asked without warning to appear nude in a music video or working on set without adequate seating, water, or food. Lee paid it forward by urging aspiring performers to nurture their talents. When someone caught the acting bug, Lee said she would light up and want to share the fairy dust with them. Lately, however, Lee feels obligated to warn her mentees that they probably won't be able to make a living off performing alone. Quote, "It was never all glitz and glamour and easy," Lee said. "Half the job is making it look glamorous, but nowadays it's even harder with the lack of work." Allison D. Moore, a 63-year-old Foley artist, practically born into show business as the daughter of the character actor Alvy Moore, cut her teeth in the late 1970s and early 80s, assisting the sound teams on classic shows such as Dallas and Falcon Crest. Foley artists physically create sound effects for movies, TV shows, video games, and more. And that's what she does. One of her earliest mentors was Kitty Malone, whom Moore described as a petite former dancer who overcame industry sexism and proved that female Foley artists were capable of making some serious noise. Noise because they make sound effects. Okay, that's funny. Moore, based in Sherman Oaks, California, has honored Malone's legacy by welcoming and linking arms with other women in her trade. As a member of Warner Brothers' in-house sound team, she often gives demonstrations to students who visit the Foley stage on the Burbank studio lot, eager to learn everything there is to know about the craft. But you just have to put on that happy face and know that it's not about me at that point, it's about them, Moore said. "I really try not to discourage people," she added. "I'm not going to be the one to take that dream away from you." Hollywood has experienced tough times before. When actor, stunt performer, and filmmaker Lisa Katara's former high school inducted her into its Hall of Fame and invited her to address the student body in 2020, her beaming pride was tempered by a sense of profound uncertainty. It was, after all, the year after the COVID-19 pandemic shut down production. Little did Katara know how bad things would get in just a few years. Quote, "It's growing increasingly hard to maintain that optimism," Katara said, "but I still do believe that anything is possible." Also from the Los Angeles Times, Film LA is making a plea for vast expansion of Hollywood tax credit program to address production crisis. Yeah, but the increase that they would have to have in this tax credit program would be absolutely astronomical. Film LA, the organization that handles film permits and tracks on-location production in the Los Angeles area, is urging California to expand its movie and TV tax incentive program to mitigate Hollywood's ongoing production crisis. The Studio City-based permit office released a scripted content study on Wednesday, revealing that filming activity in the region declined by 19.7% when examining titles released in 2023 versus 2022. While California's share of the global production market fell from 22% to 18%, judging by the amount of projects released over the same period. Quote, "Today, Greater Los Angeles is one place among many where film, television, and commercial projects are made." More support for California's film industry, including a vast expansion of the California Film and Television Tax Credit Program, is required in order to increase the rate of industry investment in our state. As the Los Angeles Times recently reported, entertainment industry experts and insiders overwhelmingly agree that California's $330 million tax credit program which pales in comparison to more generous and expansive incentives offered by other states and countries, is the biggest factor dissuading studios from shooting movies and TV series in the state. It is, because it's more expensive to film there. So where's the budget going to come from to do that, especially since pretty much all the studios except Netflix got killed in the streaming wars? In a September interview with The Times, Colleen Bell, executive director of the California Film Commission, acknowledged that the state can't always compete dollar for dollar with other tax credit programs, but reasoned that Hollywood still has significant value thanks to its robust infrastructure and seasoned workforce. For as long as that lasts, the workforce can't stay there if they can't get work. Quote, the entertainment industry feeds around $43 billion in wages into the state economy. But how long can California subsist or help businesses and families thrive on an ever thinner slice of a shrinking production pie? And that's why there's so much business leaving the state, and that's why they can't get production up in the state. And that's why Hollywood veterans are telling people, don't go into this business. It's not a good business right now. And that's why the Art Directors Guild is suspending their training program, because there's not enough work for the people that are in the industry already. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.